What did your company XO do that made even the commander question them? Our executive officer was Captain Wyatt. Smart guy, West Point graduate, always by the book. Problem was, he took regulations way too literally. It started small. Wyatt decided our company needed to follow dress code perfectly, not just in formation but everywhere. He made guys change uniforms 3 times in one day because their boots weren't shiny enough. Then he got obsessed with vehicle maintenance logs. Every single entry had to be perfect. Sergeant Vincent spent 6 hours rewriting paperwork because Wyatt didn't like how he formatted the date. But the incident that made everyone question him happened during field training. We were running a 3-day exercise in the woods. Standard stuff, set up camp, practice tactical movements, basic survival skills. Second night, it started raining. Not a light drizzle, a complete downpour, water everywhere. Our tents were flooding, gear getting soaked. Everyone was miserable. Around midnight, Private Nolan came to the command tent. Kid was shaking from cold, lips turning blue. Sir, my tent collapsed. Everything's underwater. Can I move into one of the equipment shelters? Wyatt looked up from his paperwork. Negative. Field training manual states soldiers must remain in assigned sleeping areas unless medically evacuated. But sir, I'm freezing. There's 3 inches of water in my tent. Then you should have waterproofed it better. Lesson learned. Nolan stood there dripping, waiting for Wyatt to reconsider. Wyatt just went back to his paperwork. I watched this from across the tent. Couldn't believe what I was hearing. Other NCOs were exchanging looks. Nobody sure what to say. Lieutenant Quinn, our platoon leader, finally spoke up. Sir, we've got empty space in the supply tent. Weather's only getting worse. The regulation is clear. Soldiers sleep in designated areas. That's final. Quinn looked at me, shook his head. Nolan trudged back to his flooded tent. 2 hours later, 3 more soldiers showed up. Same situation. Tents collapsed, gear destroyed, soaking wet. Wyatt sent all of them back. By dawn, half the company was hypothermic. Shivering uncontrollably, couldn't complete simple tasks. The exercise was falling apart. That's when Commander Sterling arrived for his scheduled inspection. Took one look at the soldiers and immediately called formation. Why do my men look like drowned rats? Wyatt stepped forward. Sir, weather conditions created challenges, but we maintained proper field protocols. Protocols? Half my company is shaking too hard to hold their weapons. Field training manual states that soldiers must learn to adapt to adverse conditions by remaining in assigned positions. Sterling stared at him. Are you telling me you left soldiers in flooded tents because of a regulation? Yes, sir. Building resilience through controlled hardship. The silence was deafening. Every soldier in formation watched this unfold. Sterling's jaw clenched. Captain Wyatt, show me this regulation right now. Wyatt pulled out his manual, opened it to a marked page. Section 12, paragraph 4. Soldiers will utilize assigned sleeping areas throughout training exercises. Sterling read it, looked at Wyatt, looked at the shivering soldiers. Then he did something I'd never seen a commander do. He ripped that page right out of the manual, just tore it clean out and crumpled it up. You know what that regulation doesn't say, Captain? That common sense is optional. It doesn't say you let your people suffer when you have perfectly good shelter 50 feet away. But sir, I'm not finished. You graduated West Point top of your class, memorized every regulation, every procedure, every protocol, but you never learned the most important part. Taking care of your soldiers comes before any manual. Sterling turned to the formation. Everyone into the supply tent, equipment shed, wherever there's dry space. Get warm, get dry. Exercise is postponed until further notice. 200 soldiers moved at once, relief visible on every face. Sterling pulled Wyatt aside. I was close enough to hear. You're relieved of duties pending review. Lieutenant Quinn will assume XO responsibilities. Wyatt tried to protest. Sterling cut him off. You endangered lives over paperwork. That's not leadership, that's negligence. Quinn became our new XO that afternoon. First order he gave, issued cold weather gear and moved everyone into heated tents. The investigation took 3 weeks. Army reviewed Wyatt's entire command history. Turned out this wasn't the first time. During his last assignment, he denied emergency leave to a soldier whose mother was dying. Regulation said leave requests needed 7 days advance notice. Mother died before the paperwork processed. Another time he'd made a soldier run physical training on a stress fractured leg. Medical profile said light duty only. Wyatt interpreted light duty as still requiring PT. Soldier needed surgery to fix the permanent damage. Wyatt got transferred to a desk job at the Pentagon, pushing papers where he couldn't hurt anyone. Quinn proved to be the best XO we ever had. He knew regulations too, but understood when to follow them and when to use judgment. 6 months later, I ran into Wyatt at a conference. He was wearing his dress uniform, every ribbon perfectly placed, shoes mirror polished. Asked him what he learned from the whole experience. He pulled out a regulation manual from his briefcase. I'm writing an updated training doctrine, adding clearer definitions to prevent future misinterpretations. Still didn't get it. Still thought the problem was the manual, not his judgment. Meanwhile, Quinn got promoted to captain. At his ceremony, Sterling gave a speech about leadership that everyone knew was a direct shot at Wyatt. A good officer knows the regulations. A great officer knows when to ignore them to do what's right. Quinn still leads that company. Soldiers would follow him anywhere. And somewhere in the Pentagon, Wyatt's probably rewriting another manual, still convinced he was right all along.